Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Just for those who are not familiar with who I am, my name is Yelena and I am the owner of the blog Hometown Girl and Curls, where I focus on natural hair, petite fashion, affordable petite fashion, and the importance of a healthy family relationship using the Word of God. And so, for those who are here again, welcome back. I am so excited to be here because this is part 5, the last part of my Trauma to Triumph testimony series. And yeah, I'm just so excited about it. I don't want to wait too long to tell you guys the rest of the testimony. But just to go back, if you haven't seen the 4th testimony, that was basically talked about my parents getting back together and ended up getting remarried, and my father being released after being in prison for 7 years. So that's just a little snippet of the testimony, but if you want to see more, I will provide a link just to, for you guys to see. And also, of course, I'm washing my face again, and this is daytime, you guys. I did not have time to do this last night, so I am going to show you guys how I prepare my face for the day. And just to let you guys know, I do have oily skin, especially at the T-zone, and I'm a little dry around the chin, just to give you guys a heads up. But the products that I am using to make sure that my face is nice and clear, they will be in the description box below. But I don't want to talk too long about that. Let's go straight to it. So the last time we talked, I was here and I was letting you guys know how my parents got back together and they got remarried, and also how my father rededicated his life to God and was released from prison, which he was originally supposed to serve 10 years, but he was released in 7 years. And so, I don't want to go too much into that, but when my father was released from prison, we were able to, really thrive more when he got home, because he was able to, work immediately after he was released, and he was able to get a job, driving trucks, which is what he was doing before he got locked up. And so it had to be around my junior year when my dad was able to purchase a home. My parents were able to purchase a home, which is where they are still living to this day. And so, everything was good. We were thriving financially. However, relationship-wise was not the best. And I don't know what, I keep putting stuff in my eye, y'all. Anyway, our relationship was not the best. There was definitely tension between me, my brother, and my father. Mostly me and my brother against my dad during the time. So, child, the tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife. I promise you. Especially with me. My brother is, if you know my brother, if you meet him, which he will be on here one day, then you know that right now, sir. He's not the most vocal person. He's very, to himself, more quiet, more nonchalant attitude. I am usually the one that is more, expressive of my feelings. I'm the one who usually talks a little bit more, even though I'm not the most talkative person either. But anyway, I held a lot of stuff that, you know, I didn't realize that I had against my dad. And so, you know, I would lash out on him a lot. I would mistreat him badly. I would raise my voice at him. I would do a lot of things, and it wasn't something that, you know, I just kept to myself. I was publicly disrespectful to my father during that time. Even my friends noticed and was like, why do you always treat your father so bad? And I would just not even care, be in denial about it, really. And, you know, felt like I was entitled to, you know, treat him the way that I was treating him. And my dad took it. My dad took it because he felt like he deserved it after everything that he put us through. You know, the infidelity, bringing a brother into our lives, and, you know, all of that stuff. You already know, because I already told you. I don't want to go back into that again. But he felt like he deserved it, and he took it, and he, you know, didn't say anything. He didn't, you know, really do anything to, like, you know, discipline me. He just basically took in his punishment, basically. And so this whole time, you know, I didn't know how to really express myself when it came to my dad and everything that, you know, we went through. And I was also in denial at the same time because, you know, I thought that we had a pretty good relationship, even though we really didn't. And we weren't very open to my father as well. He desired a relationship with us, but we were so used to going to our mother for everything that it actually really took a while for us to readjust and, you know, be able to fully include our father into our lives. Because I mean, he was in prison for 7 years. So during those 7 years, it was mostly just me, my mother, and my brother during that time. So that made us grow a lot closer, while it actually eventually made him feel like he was left out. And it was something that my mom had to explain to him eventually, and said that, hey, if you want this relationship with these kids, you have to make the initiative to talk to them, to be open to them, to recognize what you did and how your actions affected us as young children. But I ain't gonna lie, like, you know, my dad was really trying to be involved, and he was really trying to, you know, create a place where he can be able to, you know, have us go to him and open up to him and provide discipline to us. But I was like, oh, so now you want to be a father. You weren't caring about any of this, you know, when we were younger. So, I mean, I had to be real about that. And, you know, being a teenager, you're not the most pleasant people to be around. So I can't even imagine how tough it was for him to come back into our lives, you know, try to, you know, bring our family back together, truly back together, and then have to deal with 2 teenage children. Yikes. I can't even imagine how hard it was for him. But anyway, you know, we're still in, I was very much in denial about me not fully forgiving my father about, you know, everything that he did. And we eventually became very active in the church. basically my junior year in high school, became very active in the church. We joined the church, and it was a very awesome church that really helped us, you know, to understand the Word of God from the basics of everything. And me and my brother became very active in the church, mostly after I graduated from college, because I wasn't here. I went to West Georgia, and when I graduated, I became a lot more active in the church that I was going to at the time. And you guys don't know, I used to sing. Don't ask me to sing, because ain't gonna happen. But I used to sing in the choir, and I used to sing in praise team. And while I was active, you know, being involved in the praise team, the leader used to do like different classes for us during that time, because of course, very important for us to grow as worship leaders. And it just so happened that the topic of discussion for one of our classes was forgiveness. I was just like, you know, looking back at that time, I was just like, that's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that the class was about forgiveness, and here I was still harboring unforgiveness towards my father. So it was an awesome class. We learned so much about it, and it was this last day when we had to meet up, and the worship leader at the time instructed us to write a letter of forgiveness. So, you know, of course, it had to be towards someone that we haven't really and fully forgiven. And it was crazy because everyone in the praise team was, you know, writing and just like, you know, really praising God, crying and everything. And here I was sitting here not writing. And the worship leader came to me and was like, you know, why are you not writing anything? And I was like, because I feel like I've forgiven everybody. Now you think about my dad. I was like, I feel like I've forgiven everybody. I'm pretty good at, you know, being able to, you know, forgive people, move forward, and, you know, either be able to restore that relationship or, you know, love from a distance, depending on the person. And so she just started asking me some questions, and, you know, it led me to the point that, wow, I did not forgive like I thought I had. And some of the questions was, you know, how is your behavior towards that person that you forgave? Do you happen to, you know, think about the offenses that that person did to you and hold it against them? You know, how is your relationship with that person that you had forgiven? And when she was asking me all these questions, y'all, when I tell you that was an aha moment for me, that I was just like, wow, I really have not forgiven my father like I thought I have. All because, you know, we were living in the same household. I was talking to him every now and then, and, you know, we were all active in the church together. I thought that, you know, everything was fine. But when I realized that my actions towards him, my behavior towards him, my attitude towards him truly showed that I had not forgiven him. And so at that time, it made me write that letter out. And I wrote that letter out and was just in boo-hoo tears, crying, snot coming out. I'm talking about straight up ugly cry. and I really had to pray to God, you know, that I could be able to forgive my dad. And also, you know, be able to acknowledge the things that I was feeling, that I was going through during that time as a kid. And, you know, be able to express that to my dad eventually. And that, you know, everything that I went through in that letter, I just wrote it all out. And it was to a point that everybody else was done and I was still writing. I was still going. And so eventually I went to my dad and told him that I forgave him, that I truly did forgive him for everything, you know, that we went through. And, you know, I was still harboring things towards my dad when, at the end of the day, my mom was able to move forward and to move on. And, you know, he deserved that from us as well. And so, honestly, I just thank God for that class, that course that we had to take in the praise team during that time, because that really opened my eyes to see the unforgiveness that I was still having towards my father. And thank God for the worship leader. I don't want to say her name or anything, but she knows who she is. Thank you so much for doing that. Ooh, I'm to cry. Thank you so much for allowing me to see the things that I was doing to my father. And he was trying so hard to regain our trust, to restore our relationship. And I was the one that had that wall built up against him. And so it really took that class for me to realize that I had to move forward. I had to, you know, be able to express how I was feeling, because my feelings were valid towards him. But in order for that relationship to be able to go forward, I had to fully be able to forgive him, tell him that I forgave him. And it was also crazy because my mother ended up, you know, apologizing to us for her part as well, which was also, you know, a huge eye-opener for us as well. Because during that time, we only recognized the things that my father had done. We really didn't realize that my mom had some part into, you know, everything that happened as well. And so it was awesome to be able to be in a place where my mom was apologized as well. And so I had to be in my mid-20s when I finally forgave my father. And I had to be about 24, 25 years old. I'm 33, by the way. And so, it's just, it just really blows my mind on how, you know, when I see other families deal with things and deal with unforgiveness, and it can be, and it was something that was even much bigger than what we went through, and they were able to move forward as well. And, you know, just hearing those stories really just made me open my eyes to saying that if they can forgive over something that was way worse than what we dealt with. Because during that time, child, I thought that what we went through was really bad, that no one can top what we went through. But it really is true that there is always someone who is worse off than you. That really is true. But anyway, I was finally able to forgive my dad, tell him that, have a conversation with him. And, you know, several years later, you know, I got married. I was like 29 when I got married. And it was awesome to be able to, you know, have a relationship with him to the point that, you know, we can talk on the phone all the time. I go to him to stuff first before I go to my mom. And, you know, even he's like, you know, kind of brag on it a little bit, but it's not like a little brag on it, but it's really just shows, you know, the blossoming of our relationship, and, you know, how we ended up being able to, you know, go to him more, open up to him more, you know, truly enjoy each other's company. I don't have that rage get to him anymore. And that's a whole nother story that I'm going to tell you guys too, because my husband really, really helped me with that. But that's a whole nother story. But you know, we were able to just have a great relationship with him. We were able to restore our relationship, reconcile, and fully be able to move forward to the point that when I got married, of course my dad walked me down the aisle, but also in the reception, we did like a fun father-daughter dance. It was awesome, and I wish I had a video to show you guys, but it was so awesome. It was so great, and I got a couple of pictures that hopefully I can find one so I can at least post it on this video. But it had gotten to the point that we can just be able to just truly enjoy ourselves and have fun, and, you know, highlight the, you know, the love that we have for each other as father and daughter. And so, you know, that my dad, he is my road dog. Like, I'm a huge sports fan, so is my dad. We're both Saints fans. So when it comes to, like, you know, talking about sports and anything like that, my dad, that's who I go to. We can just have conversations, you know, about, you know, life, about the stuff that we have going on with ourselves, and, you know, even be able to open up to him and let him know that, hey, I am going to share my story about what happened, you know, with us. And him being able to just be accepting of it and just be like, baby, tell your story, because somebody needs to hear it. Somebody's going to want to hear it. Somebody is going to be blessed by hearing this. And, you know, it's crazy because all of us in our family, we have used our testimony in ways to help people. And, you know, my dad was the first one. And, you know, I have mentioned this man in the last video named Claude. His name is actually Clark, y'all. I don't know how I got that wrong, but his name is actually Clark. I mentioned him in the last video because he helped my dad, you know, with his relationship with God, but he also had a prison ministry. And my dad was very active in the prison ministry, where he was able to go to, you know, different prisons in the state of Georgia and be able to share his testimony about, you know, how he was able to find God. And it was in those four walls that he was able to find God, get a relationship with him, get his family back, and be able to get on his feet where he can be able to have a great career, which he does have right now. He is a very successful truck driver, and, you know, I brag about him, you know, when it comes to that all the time, because if I don't know anyone that's a good truck driver, I know my dad is the dopest one, period. And he's a very hardworking man as well. But he started out using his testimony to reach out to prisoners and inmates, basically. And now we have basically followed suit. Because honestly, it took me a very long time to be able to tell you guys the story, because I have been ashamed. I have been ashamed for a very long time because I was too afraid about what, excuse me, I was too afraid to think about what people thought about me, what people thought about my father, what people thought about my mother, that she went through all of that and then was able to take him back. Some people may not be able to understand this testimony, but I had to come to the realization that, you know what, this is a story that needs to be told. And you know, we are all using our testimonies in different ways to be able to help people. And so, you know, with my dad, that started with him being involved in the prison ministry with the inmate that helped him, you know, get a relationship with God, Clark. And so also with my mother, she retired from work from the state last year. And she used, you know, her retirement as a mission to be able to do God's work. And so one of that is being active in a nonprofit organization that helps domestic violence victims. So that's what she's doing, and I'm so proud of her. Ooh, I promise I wasn't gonna cry, but you know what? It is what it is. I'm so proud of her. That she was able to overcome all of that and then be able to help those, you know, who are in the same position as her. I'm so proud of my father that he can go to prisons, tell his story, and the inmates are so open and welcoming to him because they know that he's been there. He's been in their shoes. And so I'm just so proud of my parents that they can use their story to help others, because we're not the only one that's been through things, and we're not the only one that's been through this. People can relate to my parents. So it was just a blessing to see them be able to share their testimony and be able to help those. But also, I'm so proud of my brother because he came out with a project last year, and I'm so sorry. It's not sad tears. It's a happy tears. It's a happy tears. I'm so proud of my brother who was able to do a project about his testimony, about what we've been through, but it was through his eyes. And y'all, I'm telling y'all, that project is amazing. I'm so proud of him. I'm so happy that he was able to do this project and be able to express the things that he was going through during that time. Some of the things that no one knew, which is actually sparking new conversations with my family. And so I know that his project will be able to help anybody, especially young men who may have gone through things when it comes to a father not being present, with a father not being active, and even when it comes to being able to express how you feel as a young man. And so with that project, I'm going to provide links to his project as well, because y'all have to listen to it. It is amazing. And you know, I still go back and listen to it even more, but I'll provide links in the description box with his project. And then the last, of course, me doing this blog where I am focusing on, you know, natural hair and you know, affordable petite fashion. But most importantly, I am doing this blog to use the different stories that I have in my life, the different experiences that I have in my life, to really show the importance of a healthy family household. And, you know, realize that the things that you went through in the past does not have to continue, and that cycle does not have to continue to go on in your future family or in your family now and generations to come. And so that was my point of doing this blog as well, to really emphasize the importance of healthy family relationships and healthy family marriages, where there is also a brother and sister relationship, mother and daughter, father and daughter, and I will be doing more content on that as well. But it was very important for me to share this testimony with you guys, and I know this video ended up being a lot longer than I thought, but I really did not want to leave anything out, and I really wanted to inspire people to not be afraid to share your story. Not be afraid to tell people about what you've been through and how God helped you through that. And it was crazy because I saw this quote and I posted it on social media because it really resonated with me. And it said, your story is a key to someone's prison. And when I saw that, I'm sorry. When I saw that quote, that really resonated with me, because as much as I was harboring in this story and not being able to share this with everyone, I didn't realize that it could be helping someone out there. It could be inspiring other people to not be afraid to share their story. It could be, helping them when it comes to unforgiveness in their family, or, reconciliation, or, restoring your relationships in their family. I did not realize that my story could be the key to someone else's prison who are dealing with those things. So, it was just important for me to share that story with you guys before I put out any more content, about the importance of a healthy family relationship that is surrounded by the Word of God. But thank you guys for allowing me to be here. Thank you guys for watching each and every part of these videos. Thank you for allowing me to just pour out, pour out and honestly do God's work. Because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to do God's work regarding relationships and family relationships. Whether it's the Black community, white, Hispanic, Asian, wherever it could be. But I'm just happy to be able to share this story with you guys, and I'm so happy that you guys rode along with me throughout this whole testimony. And just be sure to just share this with anybody who may need to watch this for inspiration, or just for hope, a sense of hope, and faith in God when it comes to the family, and being able to have a healthy one of your own, as well as being able to form a relationship with family members that you may not have the best relationship with, or someone that was not very active in your life, but they choosing to try to be involved now. So y'all, that's all I have for y'all today, and I just truly want to thank you guys for being a part, and you guys will see more content from me about you know, natural hair, family relationships, and affordable petite fashion in the future. And I just can't wait to see where God is going to take me regarding this. So I don't want to go on any longer, but thank you guys. I love y'all for being here, and I hope that you guys have the awesome rest of your week, and just praying for protection and guidance and and love, unity regarding family. So thank you guys. I love y'all, and y'all have an awesome week. Love y'all. Bye.